Well, they're going to have to go a little faster because Pedregon's got almost a 10th on them. Steve is with John Forrest.
Well, John, this car hasn't run this well without burning itself up in a long time. At 20 the round before, at 21 now.
Well, I can tell you the truth, Steve. Starting to get a little bit aggravated. This McDonald's deal, miners. We know there's a lot of money over there, but we're going to throw some of our cash at them, and they're really making me hot. 512s out here. You got to hand it to them. They're doing good, and we're just going to step on this heap if we got a burner. Simple.
Got his attention.
Well, they certainly know how to burn it if they have to, and they can make some power when it's necessary.
Well, the last time they burned one down, they took our onboard camera with it. We can only cross our fingers that doesn't happen with Al Hoffman as he races Del Worsham here in the second round of funny car competition. Del Worsham is the youngest driver on the funny car circuit at just age 22. This is his sophomore season, and he is the defending Summer Nationals champion. Won it all here last year on Sports World. Al Hoffman has been knocking around this sport forever and is finally really breaking through. He won his second event in 1992 a few weeks ago. He ran 5:21 here in round number 1. He could win it all.
He sure could, and he'd like to because he's well in this Winston's points hunt.
All right, Al Hoffman. Whoa, and look at Worsham go. That's why. Tire smoke out of the Hoffman car as Father Chuck says, yes, headed for the final board of 532, 277 miles an hour. Let's have another look at what happened here to Al Hoffman, Big Daddy.
Well, another crew chief bites the dust, misjudges the traction on this Englishtown track, and the hot pavement bites them. Watch the tires give up right away. A sure sign it got too aggressive with the clutch management, and they brought that clutch in too soon, and the tires would not stick.
One of the few mistakes his crew chief Tom Anderson has made all year long. So in the semifinals, we'll see Cruz Pedregon versus Chuck Etchels. Pedregon will have the lane choice. Looking forward to that one. Semifinal number 2, John Forrest versus Del Worsham. Forrest has the lane choice. Well, Del, you're the defending champion. You're still alive, but not real quickly.
Really?
532.
Yeah, I don't know. We blew it up last night. It hasn't been running too good ever since. We'll keep working on it.
You had to be afraid of that BDS car. It ran much quicker than you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were just out there hoping he'd make a mistake.
And he did.
Thank goodness.
Sometimes that's how you win races. You just be there.
Well, here for the semifinals of Pro Stock is Ricky Smith in that Pontiac. And in a Chevrolet Lumina, it is Bruce Allen, who won just 2 weeks ago in Montreal. The Pro Stock category has offered such intense competition all year long. Let's take a look at the points. Right now, here's how they stand. Jerry Ekman at 69.92, Warren Johnson at 66.96. You see Jeffrey on Allen and Larry Morgan. Now, we could see a new points leader before this race is over because of what happened last evening. This was Jerry Ekman, the points leader, in his final qualifying attempt. You saw the car do that little sachet? Well, that cost him just enough time to not make the Summer Nationals field. A disaster for Ekman.
It shook so hard. I about had to lift, even get it to stop shaking. I knew I wasn't going to get out of that session. We just had trouble all weekend.
You have a 1,000-point lead, and it's a good thing.
Well, we've lost 50 of it because there's somebody's going to have low ET. I think it's Warren. I don't think that'll be beat. So maybe we'll get some breaks for tomorrow's race. You never know.
Well, that 1,000 points was before competition began. The standings we showed you are right up to date. Warren Johnson already has about 600 of those points back. But they're all going to have to contend with the man in the yellow car, Bruce Allen, running better than he has in a couple of years. Now, his competition, Ricky Smith, is not in the top 5, but he's a major player in this points drama. This was earlier. Why was Ekman's car over at Ricky Smith's pits? Because they took the motor out of it and plugged it into Smith's Pontiac. The engine was not the problem. That wasn't the reason he didn't qualify. That had to do with clutch and suspension. So one of the strongest motors in the sport that has won 4 national events this year is under the hood of Ricky Smith's car. And look who's a very interested spectator, Jerry Ekman himself. Why would you loan a guy a $100,000 motor? Well, you hope he'd go out and whip the competition, keep them from earning any points and catching your lead. Ekman looking on, and so far it has paid off. Let's go to Don Garlich's down on the starting line to talk to Jerry about this whole Pro Stock engine deal.
Why would you loan your motor to Ricky Smith? He might get some of your secrets.
Well, he's got some of our secrets already, but, you know, it just goes to show you, Don, that's the motor we didn't qualify with, and he's out here winning races with it. It's amazing, isn't it?
Ekman's gambling, and it's paying off. Steve?
Well, Ricky, you're going to the final round, but it doesn't have anything to do with the Pontiac partnership with Ekman. The car slowed down a bit to 729.
Well, I might not have the clutch right. We just tried to take a hit at it, you know. He got a little more power than we got, I think. You know, I don't know. We just had to wait and see.
Go get him, Ricky. Well, there's the funny car driver the whole sport is talking about, Cruz Pendragon, who has the seat in this red rocket. Can it go quicker yet? In our continuing coverage of the NHRA Mopar Parts Summer Nationals, huge crowd on hand. I'm Steve Evans along with Big Daddy Don Garlitz, and we are looking in the funny car pit of Del Worship, Big.
They're putting a brand new clutch in there. That's a standard procedure on all these cars in this day and age of this high-powered racing. It's done for two reasons, Steve, both performance and safety.
Speaking of performance, here's the final race of the semi-bundles of Pro Stock, and that's the man the Pontiac guys are ganging up on, Warren Johnson in his Oldsmobile. If he wins this event overall, he will take the points lead away from Jerry Ekman. First of all, of course, Warren Johnson has got to get by Bob Glidden. Glidden is winless so far this season. I can't remember a year he hadn't won a race by this point, but not in 1992. So now the Pontiac guys, Jerry Ekman, Ricky Smith, they're hoping Glidden can take Johnson out.
Well, Glidden will have a lot of Pro Stock drivers cheering him on in this round. Something unusual for the winningest Pro Stock driver in NHRA history.
And Glidden is doing a great job. Whoa, just by a car length does Warren Johnson go to the final round at 7:29, 188 miles an hour. Was Bob Glidden there? You bet. 7:30, 190 miles per hour. As we go back to the Thunder Up Top Fuel, you're riding on the wing way up there with Joe Amato.
Well, it's an area I wouldn't want to ride on, but these cars burn the tires like this to heat up the rubber, to get some nice traction so that they will not spin the tires coming off the line. Let's go to Steve with Warren Johnson.
You know, the Pontiac guys are ganging up on you a little bit, loaning motors back and forth. How do you feel about that?
Well, there's a lot of people trying to gang up on us. You know, we're a little bit faster than everybody else out here right now. So, you know, everybody is like, you know, the OK Corral. There's one gunfighter there, and everybody's trying to take their best shot.
Slap leather.
Well, I think Warren's taking that rather nicely. You know, you'd think he'd be a little upset.
He's done it himself, Big. The final pairing will be Warren Johnson versus Ricky Smith. Warren will have the lane choice, but right now, what a matchup. Ed McCullough, who needs another one of those 480s like he had in qualifying, to go wheel to wheel with Joe Amato, who ran a 488 the previous round.
Well, Ed McCullough's going to have to dig back in that bag of tricks and get that 485 because Amato is good for repeating.
Oh, Amato smokes the tires. But his crew is the one celebrating because Ed McCullough left the starting line an instant too soon. In his lane, you see the red light. It is Joe Amato going to the final round. What a huge break for the Amato team. Let's have one more look at this. He had problems staging, Big Daddy.
He certainly did. We noticed the top stage light had went out, and the car left just a little too soon, and that disqualifies you in NHRA competition. What a break for Joe Amato. They put too much power in the car. It smokes the tires. They were trying for that 485 that they knew Ed McCullough was capable of, but it didn't work, and then it did work. What luck.
Well, only the driver knows what happened in a situation like that, Ace. Can you tell us?
I don't know. I just pulled in there, and I was probably in a little deeper than I should have been. Time to go, and I left.
Red lighted by only 0.02 of a second, but to the benefit of Joe Amato. Amato did not know that you had won.
I never saw his red light. My car smoked the tires and shook, and I shut it off.
Yeah, he was just overstaged just a little bit.
Oh, talk about a blessing from heaven. I come over to congratulate you. I thought you won, buddy. I'm sorry. Jeez. I never saw him. You know, I'm concentrating on that tree. I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
Hard on both drivers down here, this one was.